Hello and welcome. My name is Kai Lindenbrugger, and today I'd like to introduce how to work with the door fitting manager in SchüCal. First, we are entering some doors, and I'd like to explain the field properties dialog. And then I've prepared a panic door EN 179 or 1125, and I show you what is special about this. And then we talk about an opposed opening door, an anti-finger trap door, and we also create a swing door. So for that, we go directly into SchüCal. And as you can see, I've prepared some units here, and I start with my first unit, which is a standard door. So as you can see here in the preview, and also now in my unit view, I've prepared 3 different kind of items here. And first I want to talk about here this outward opening with a window outer frame. I like to show this. That is the window outer frame. That is nothing special here, but let's see what you can do with this construction. First I go to the opening types, and I go here to my fixed glazing dialog. And here you find a couple of options, and I want to talk about the doors. We've got single front door, right and left, and here is a single door with a bottom outer frame. That means the bottom outer frame, you get here an outer frame also at the bottom, and instead of a threshold. And we also got this as a double front doors with or without a bottom outer frame. What I like to choose is the number 50. That's a double front door left. And let's see what you can do with this kind of door. Here you've got some options. The option is inward opening, and you get anti-finger trap, inward opening with a small cover profile, outward opening. You see full panic and partial panic doors, mixed full panic, anti-finger trap, full panic, opposed opening door, and emergency exit doors. The reason is that you can all do this with a window outer frame. Now let's take a look to the other 2 items. That's inward opening with a door outer frame. If I click on that, then you see here it is a door outer frame. I've got the rebate at my outer frame. And if I select this option here, I just get inward opening options, right? So that is an outward opening door. And I've also got a door outer frame, including the rebate. And guess what I get? Only outward opening options, right? So depending on the outer frame, you get the different options for how to use the door. I delete these items here now, like that. And I want to focus here on my outward opening with a window outer frame. And especially I like to talk about all the options here. And for that, I close all the field properties here. And let's see the opening type and this kind of openings. So that is the option inward or outward opening. We have been in there before. And then let's go to the fittings type. What you can select is you can use a standard security or RC2, RC3, or RC2N, or you can also exclude the fittings. I want to work with a standard security. And what I like to do this, I want to use an outward opening door first, so that you can see the hinges here without changing the view. Also here you've got the same security options. And what about the load? You've got the option without heavy loading, with heavy loading for side hung doors, door drives not from SchüCal, and door closes not from SchüCal. If you change with heavy loading, you get additional hinges here according to the rules of our catalog here. So that is the heavy loading 2, or you get a second hinge at the top. I now go to without heavy loading. The fittings color you see here can be chosen for this, just for this door: silver, inox wood, jack black, pure white, or traffic white. Type of operation: it is standard or comfort, which means you get a DCS, a door closer system, so that it's kind of automatic door, or you get a fingerprint easy. And this webinar is about standard doors for the operation. Going to the profiles. Here you've got the different kind of profiles, and before you can choose from the different types. You've got ADS and ADS HD. ADS HD means you get a heavy duty door, and the difference to ADS is ADS has got larger isolators, and therefore you've got a better U value, and heavy duty door can carry heavier loads than the ADS. And ADUP is a newer door platform, and one of all these types can be chosen, and the following dialogues are adapting to this pre-selection. Good. The next is the rebate profile. If we go here to the submenu, you probably have different kind of rebate profiles. I have got one in this particular profile system at the moment. And then we go to the door leaves here, and the door leaves, only outward opening door leaves are shown. Also, because of our pre-selection, we have selected here an outward opening. And here you see the different kind of profiles for the door leaves. And here you've got a profile for this door leaf with a leaf enclosing infill for the outside, and here you've got a leaf enclosing infill panel for the outside and for the inside. That is special about these profiles. The other profiles, as you can see, they have got different sizes, and you can choose from one of these articles. I want to select now the 395/730. And what else you can do is you can make also a right click and you can show different columns here. For example, if you want to see ADS HD, or if you want to get the chamber dimension, or if you want the profile width. So, and now I make this a little bit larger, this dialog here. You get all the information, right? And for example, you can also search just for ADS HD. You see some of these profiles, they have disappeared, and you can also use different kind of profile width, whatever. So that is, let's say, a filter function you can use. And let's go for the 395 720. And then we go to the double vent. That is the opposed leaf here of the door leaf you have. And that is the typical double vent section. You see that? That is here the opposite vent. And if you go to the door leaf and you select the same one as you have selected before, 395 720. So both are now here the same. Then you get on first an equal view here on the section, and you get an additional dialog of the meeting style profile. And if you click on that, here you've got a couple of options. No, there are just two options here. You've got this kind of meeting style profile, but I come back to this later. And that is the only option I like to choose now. And I want to see now here the section that looks like this. I've got the same profiles here on the left and on the right, and this meeting rail profile on the outside. Good. The sill profile, you can choose from any sill profiles which are shown here. And if you use without the sill profile, then you get the leaf circumferential and you get miter joints. Okay, I want to use here this sill profile, and according to the sill profile, you get the different kinds of thresholds you can use. That is here my current selection. I want to leave it like that. Or you can also use an automatic door seal. And I use just here this threshold 244478. And then I go to OK. Well, that's about the profiles. I've got the opening here. What about the B1 dimension? So if I use the B1 dimension and the value 0 means that you get an equal dimension for both vents. And if you want to get one vent larger, you use a B1 dimension, for example, of 800 millimeter. So then that means that the slave leaf here in this case is shorter than the excess leaf. Good, I want to do an equal division, so I let it to 0. And the door airspace here is related to your threshold. Of course, you can do some small changes if you like regarding the dimensions, but that is according to the rules of our catalog. You need for this door threshold and door airspace of 25 millimeter. So the lock and handle headline you find here. You can select as well as the accessories and the handle. And as you can see, you have to work through this dialog from the top to the bottom because the selected articles are related here to the items which are shown here in this dialog after you have done the selection. So, and let's go to the logs. I go to the submenu here. And we have an outward opening door. And here you see we've got a huge number of logs. And sometimes it's hardly possible to find all or your log which you like to get. And let's say if you make a right click on the columns here, you can also activate some new columns like I did here. You get a log description, for example, if you like, and the different type can be used here. What is an ADS HD? And let's go for ADS HD. I've got an ADS HD door. I like to get ADS HD logs. I do not have a panic door, so I don't want to use any panic locks. And if I go to the self-locking, and in case I don't want to get any self-locking, I can say no. So the dialog is reduced a lot, sorry. And if I go to my description and I select, I want to get a bold lock, for example, I just have a few of these locks. And therefore I can choose the 241 180, for example. That is the lock I like to get. And see all the submenus, they have been changed now according to my selection of the lock. And then I can go to the opener. I can choose without electric strike, electric strike adjustable, or with a radius, with or without. I don't want to use an electric strike. I've got now here, the next is my strike plate. You see a couple of strike plates are shown, and I want to use my current selection, which was already used by default here for this lock. The LED striker you can use without a LED striker, or you can choose plastic or stainless steel. So the installation type inside and outside, that works in conjunction together with a rosette. And if I choose, for example, outside without a slot, you see the rosette outside is restricted to the round one here. The cylinders, you can choose from the cylinders. All possible cylinders are listed according to the log. And if you use the design, then you do not use the cylinder, but you can use your own locking system. So you get the processing of the machine, of the CNC machine. I want to use design. And now we are coming to the shoot bolt lock. And here you see this in this triangle, you've got a couple of options here. And the shoot bolt lock, let's take a closer look here. Here you've got faced fitted shoot bolt locks, or which are implemented in the rebate. So I want to use this shoot bolt lock to 40717. And here you can choose from the installation type. Okay, only top is available. And you can define the dimension of the lock is 450 millimeter on top of your lock and handle. Shoot bolt monitoring. Here you find the contact switch, and if you select them, then it will be positioned on the upper locking point, and I don't want to use any shoot bolt monitoring. So I go to OK. Handle inside, that is here. So here you can add door lever handles as well as door pulls. You see the door pulls are here on the push handles, and the lever handle additional colors are also given here. It is according to our pre-selection here of the fittings. We have already defined I want to get silver anodized fittings. And what I like to do is I want to choose now one handle. Let me see, something with 210. Let's choose any of these handles here. I take this one, 210, 678. And this handle inside, for example, you can also define a vent assignment if possible. And here it makes no sense according to our selections we've done before. It can only be done at the access vent. The installation height from ground floor level is 1050, and of course you can also change this dimension. Rosette inside, you can choose from the different colors here. I want to leave it in the surface finish, and then we've got a handle outside. Here you've got different kind of options of the handle outside, and I just want to use the 210 790. If you need an additional handle, so then you can click here on this green spot with a white cross. Additional handle inside, additional handle outside can be defined here, or sometimes there's a need for an additional lock. And as soon as you click on this function here, you can define, for example, here an additional lock, and you also get all the parameters which are needed to meet the requirements. So I delete this lock, don't need this in my case. And let's go further down to the door hinges. So usually you just have to consider one vent, the hinge on vent 1, because of what you do on the left, SchüCal does it automatically on the right side. And let's take a closer look to the door hinges. So if I use now here the hinge of the vent 2 and I select here a different hinge, so you see that's my current selection, you can do this like that if necessary. But usually there's no need for that. And I go back now to my barrel hinge. The different kind of hinges are shown. Now I'm going back to my first vent. Here you've got the different kind of hinges according to the silver anodized accessories. All the others additional colors are below this headline here. And I want to use now 239890, this kind of hinge. And here you can see on the left, I get the same on the right-hand side. The number, according to the diagrams, and which are considering the weight and the size of the door. If you select automatic, so you are inside the rules of our catalog. And here's the installation diagram. You see that here it's faded out. But if you do manual changes, for example, you want to get 3 of these hinges, however, then you can change the installation diagram. You can change the position here. You see that here of the hinges. And you can change the reference point of the door hinge. There are a couple of options given there. The installation height for the other hinge at the top. And so here you can change all the dimensions. I want to get the automatic calculation of this. And here you can choose the fixing, stainless steel, screw ensure, or steel screw ensure, or without fixing. Then we've got the security bolts. And you can use a security bolt and you have to add them manually. But if you use RC2, they are calculated automatically. Cable link connector, you get the different kind of cable link connectors. And if you use this, you see also this dialog extends here. You've got a submenu here, and you can define how many you like to get, and you can also change the installation height in case you have some problems with hinges or whatever. So then you can get a different position. Door holder outside. The door holder outside will be considered for both leaves, the left and the right one. I don't want to use this. And then I close the hinge of vent 1 and the hinge of vent 2. And also I close now the locks. So because I want to show it now profiles and also the openings. I now like to talk about the door closer and the door selector arm. We've got different type of door closers. And If you take a closer look to the submenu, we've got visible with a divided slide rail, visible with a continuous slide rail, or visible with a complete PU. And if I use a visible with a divided slide rail, then in the following menus, you find all necessary articles which are listed in our catalogs. And here, that is the door closer visible divided slide rail. And if you use visible with a continuous slide rail, you see also the articles are changing now. And here on top, you get the slide rails. I go back. Oh, installation position, that might be interesting. You can use vent inside or vent opposite side to hinge. If you click on that, then you will get this to the opposite side of the hinge. So now I go to the inside view here. Now here you find the door closer now. Well, coming back to my door closers, I go back to the visible with a divided slide rail. And also with a divided slide rail, I've got different possibilities of the installation position. Vent inside, hinge side, like that, so that you can see this. But you can also have outer frame hinge side or outer frame opposite side to hinge. That is also possible. You see now the door closer is fixed now at the outer frame. So I like to use vent hinge side. And here you can choose, the next dialog is about choosing the closer for the access vent. You've got a couple of them here, and I want to use the 212302. Here you've also got the door closer of the additional colors, or also door closer, which can also be used. So there are a couple of them here. I want to use this one. The installation plate of the access vent can be used if available. Now you see just one article number. And you also got the slide rail for the access vent, which can be used, mounting plate for slide rail, door closer, secondary leaf, installation plate, secondary leaf, and slide rail. You see that here, mounting plate, and also the door selector arm. We have selected a visible divided slide rail, and then we have to choose a door selector arm. And that is my door selector arm, only one article number left. So, and then we have talked about this door, and we are mostly through all the options of the door fitting manager. The Bluetooth access control, that is not subject of this kind of webinar. It might be that we want to create another webinar where the Bluetooth access control and the door closer system, and also the fingerprint is explained. I save now my item, and then I close the item because I have prepared another item here, making a double click on it. And well, if I select this door, you see it's a full panic outward opening door EN 1125. And I can choose now also a different one, full panic EN 179. And you see here automatically the push bars are disappearing because that is another European norm. And I go back now to my full panic, outward opening 1121, 25. Fitting types, we went through this, but here you've got a panic function. And the panic function is a pre-selection for the following options within the door fitting manager. And if I change now to panic function B, then you see here the push bars are disappearing and I get a lever handle here. That is now the panic function B, and there is also a description in our catalogs which are explaining the B, C, D, and what I like to use, the panic function E. And this panic function E controls also the locks. Now, only the locks with the panic function E are listed here in this lock dialog. So that is then much more convenient for you. So either you can use here the panic function mode, here just type E is shown in this case. And also here you can switch on or off different kind of columns there. Now I go back to my locks to this dialog, and if I go to the type, I want to get ADS HD, and you see here I've restricted now the article number, and what I get is the 241991. I want to get this lock. So, and this lock does the following. This lock opens the access leaf in case the secondary leaves open, right? So there are different article numbers with different kind of functions here. And the sequence of opening are controlled by the shootboard lock also. Here of this article number, you can select. And then you've got a rod guide for the secondary leaf, which can be used. And this is all option is automatically added because of our pre-selection. Well, let's go to the next type of door. That is an opposed opening door. So you see the opposed opening door has the hinge here on the outside. And if I go to the inside view, there's also got the hinge on the inside. So let's take a closer look to the section. It looks like this. So this leaf goes in this direction, and that leaf goes in that direction. How is it controlled? On one hand, if it's to find where the excess leaf is, actually there's no excess leaf, but to get it here or there, it is a matter of the opening type. If you select number 50, you get this spot here for the excess leaf on the other vent. And but that is controlled here by the article number. So the door leaf 395730, and here I've got the double vent 395700. And if I use 395700 for my door leaf, you see that that is now the other way around. Then the double vent gets the article number 395730, and now you have got the hinges on the opposite side. If you take a look to the door closer, only visible divided slide rails or concealed divided slide rails are shown, and now with a no door closer with a continuous slide rail, of course. So going to the next, it's an anti-finger trap door. And let's take a look first at the section of the anti-finger trap door. So if you click on that, you've got this intersection profiles here for the anti-finger trap on one hand, and here at the outer frame in the area of the hinge, you've got this certain gaskets. These are abate gaskets here. And how can you choose this? You need an appropriate outer frame. And if you click on the opening type here, we just have selected an anti-finger trap outward opening, and the following profiles are given automatically. And now let's take a look at the meeting style profiles. Here, these two profiles are given. These are the possibilities you can choose from, and I want to let it to 398510. Well, the last example is about a swing door. What is special about this? You just can get this swing door in non-insulated profile systems, which is the ADS 50.NI or ADS 65NI. And here you've got also the meeting style profile you can choose from. What you need is equal door leaf and also equal double vent. And in this case, you get this meeting style profiles in order to get a swing door. And also here, the following options are adapted to your swing door and your selection of the profiles. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all about our door fitting manager. Thank you for your attention. I hope that helps in your daily work. And for today, I say goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.